Hey everyone, welcome back to another podcast hosted by Unicast AI. I'm Benoit, and today we are diving into a topic that's at the corner of what we do at Unicast AI, which is helping people find meaningful career in Web3. So at Unicast AI, we are the next generation career hub for the Web3 industry. We have a job board directly on Telegram with a mini app and smart bots, all of that powered by AI. And joining me today is Ashane from Metana. They are specializing in Web3 bootcamps and they are helping people transition into the blockchain field and land jobs in the space. So today's in this episode, we'll talk about the fastest growing Web3 roles in 2025 and what you should be learning at the moment. And we'll explore the top roles seeing demands at the moment, how the job market is shifting and impacting skills priority, and what Metana is seeing from their hiring partner and the current trends. All right, so let's start it. Thank you, Ashan, for joining us. Could you introduce yourself and
Yeah,
how you got into
totally.
Web3?
Totally. First of all, happy to be here, guys. And yeah, my name is Ashane. I am from Metana. So how I got into Web3, it's a story about being in the right place at the right time, essentially. So I was first a marketeer, like doing pretty dead-end job, I would say, at marketing. And then I just learned software development on my own. And I was pretty much into building any and everything because I genuinely just found it to be so fun. That's when I found out that Metana was actually looking to hire full stack developers. And so I just interviewed there and I got hired there. And that's where my journey actually began. So I joined Metana as a full stack developer, but soon kind of found myself really interested in the Web3 landscape. Not like the investment side of it, not like the cryptocurrencies per se, but like the development side of Web3, right? So I just started researching and learning anything I could about Web3 and the roles that are available there, what sort of development happens there. And I just did so much research and got so obsessed and absorbed in it. And found myself helping out in developing this bootcamp for Metana called the Job Camp that essentially helps our students get placed specifically in Web3. That's where like my journey into Web3 sort of began. And the more I researched, the more I learned. And I just became like a big influence on most of our students here in terms of getting hired. And that's where I am today. The community manager at Metana, as well as helping out in recruitment for a lot of our students as well. So anything regarding skills, emerging roles, what you need to be, what you need to do to stand out in recruitment, that sort of thing, I'm the person to ask.
Great. Could you introduce Metana a bit? When was it founded? How many are you guys? Are you only doing Web3 bootcamps or as well other industry?
Oh, no, good question. Good question. So, Metana is actually a coding school, an online one. It's an online coding school. And no, we don't only focus on Web3. We have a lot of different pathways. Some of our most popular ones, like the Web3 Bootcamp, focusing on the Ethereum blockchain, focuses on essentially teaching you guys or students Solidity and everything, the entire ecosystem of building smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. And then we have the advanced software engineering pathway, which is a Web2 based pathway for existing software developers to kind of get into those big name companies, right? Because something we've noticed is you can have really great developers, but they might not know exactly how to jump into those big name companies. So we decided to get insights, and we have a really great instructor who currently works at Google as well, who helped us build this bootcamp. Again, focused on getting people hired into these big name companies. We also have a pathway into full stack development and a cybersecurity pathway coming in 2025 as well. But I would say the most popular one, I wouldn't say the best, everything I feel like is the best. The most popular one is the Web3 Bootcamp, specializing in the Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, we've been around for quite some time now. I believe we started operations in 2021. Recently, like literally last year, we got certified as the best coding bootcamp with a job guarantee by Forbes. So that's a really good milestone for us as well. And by the beginning of this year, we had our 50th cohort. So that was also a really great achievement for us as well. Also, one thing I do want to mention, we're not like any other bootcamp per se. All our bootcamps and pathways are strictly guided towards getting our students hired. We don't teach anything that is useless. Everything we teach with the goal of getting a student placed in mind. And we always back our wording with a job guarantee that we offer for all of our pathways. What it essentially means is if you don't get hired at the end of that pathway, you get your money back, no questions asked. That's essentially what Metana is. We are a growing online coding bootcamp provider, and we have fostered a big community of students, and we are very proud of them as well.
That's great. Congrats. I'm curious, does most of your students in the Web3 bootcamp find a job in a Web3 native companies, or do they usually find a job into Web3 companies that's also expanding in the blockchain, Web3 or digital assets field?
Oh yeah, totally. So when it comes to our students, right, specifically talking about the Web3 bootcamp,
Yeah.
majority of them do get hired into Web3 based companies. Some companies, they have their own tokens that they want to deploy. They want to build an ecosystem around them. Some other companies that they do get hired in is like some protocols as well. Then we have companies like Chainlink, then we have Consensus. Those companies have also hired some of our students as well. Majority of these companies that our students get hired primarily are part of the Web3 ecosystem.
Oh, okay, great. And at the moment, from what you are seeing, what are the fastest growing roles in Web3? Is it smart contract developer or smart contract auditors or something else?
Oh, nice. Okay, so few months ago, I would say, not few months ago, let's say like a year ago, maybe I would say smart contract developer was a very, very big role that was very fast growing. It on the Ethereum blockchain itself, smart contract developers, that role is reaching maturity. Not reaching maturity, it's still growing, but not at the same pace as it was like a year ago. But if you look at something like the Solana blockchain, right, when it comes to Rust development, you see much bigger demand there. But apart from that, Web3 as a whole, I would say a big role that is on the horizon, or like something that's really popular right now, is on-chain analysts and data scientists. Specifically, for building dashboards for like DAOs or protocols. These data scientists and analysts, that's highly in demand because we had a couple of students recently actually get hired into those roles as well. So that's also there. Then we also have auditors, right? We have security engineers and auditors, smart contract auditors. That's also becoming very popular, specifically for cross-chain protocols as well as modular L2s. Smart contract auditors, security engineers for those roles, really, really high demand for those as well. Also, one thing that I do want to talk about is AI integration, right? That's on the rise as well. AI plus Web3 engineers, essentially those people are also on the rise, specifically for AI like on-chain or like new networks for like crypto. You need developers who have machine learning skills. That role is also on the rise. But I would say, if I had to say the biggest role that's currently on the rise, I would say is security engineers, smart contract auditors, as well as data scientists for DAOs and protocols.
Okay, thank you. That's interesting. Do you also have insight about what are the growing roles at the moment, but on a non-technical field?
Non-technical field, yes. Also, I would say operations roles, more like operations on like the web chains. I would say on-chain operation roles are getting some traction as well. So you don't have to know the technical side of things to essentially be part of these roles. One of the things that this is something that we don't really focus on our boot camps, because our boot camps are purely technical. They
Yeah.
gun towards more technical roles, but that doesn't mean that a non-technical person can't get into Web3. Especially, treasury and governance managers and sort of stuff like that. Particularly in DAOs and DeFi applications, on-chain operations roles are definitely on the rise. So yeah, if you have a good finance background, you can definitely get into these roles. It does take some learning, and in terms of skill, you need to have some fintech knowledge as well to get into these operations role, I would say.
Okay, so you did mention as well that your students were guaranteed to find a job at the end of the bootcamp.
Yes, 100%. That's something that we are very proud of to say. Because essentially, what's the point of learning something if you can't put it to good work and get
Mhm.
something out of it, right? Unless you're doing it for a passion, you're learning to actually get make a living out of, right?
Yeah.
So we build our curriculums and everything purely focused on getting that student placed in as short time as possible. So for example, if we talk about our Web3 bootcamp, it's only 4 months. And if you're a complete beginner, so at the end of all of that, we're going to give you a lot of career support, right? We're going to help you with placement. We're going to help you with optimizing your profiles. We're going to help you put yourself out there, network. All of that is going to be done in-house because we have an entire career team dedicated for that as well. So because of that, we can actually have such a guarantee in place. We want to actually keep true to our word and our dedication to getting our students hired.
Okay, that's very interesting. And so from what you are seeing right now, how's the job market at the moment?
Job market, in this sense, I would say some roles are kind of reaching maturity, while newer roles are on the horizon. So it's definitely up to the student to understand which role they want to gun for.
Yeah.
For example, previously I said there are some roles like smart contract auditor, security engineer. Those roles, there's a big demand for those roles. So if you understand what you need to do to get into those roles, again, the job market is not something you need to essentially be too worried about right now. Getting into Web3, I would say, is a very smart move. The job market is not too saturated at all. In fact, if you look at something like the Solana blockchain, it's quite the opposite. There's a lot of demand, but not enough talent whatsoever. It's to the point where companies are actually hiring complete beginners and telling them to learn Rust while they're working for them. So the
Wow.
demand there also is pretty high, because me personally, I've had like at least around 4 or 5 different students who've been hired to learn Rust and then work there. So I would definitely say the job market is at a pretty good place if you are looking to get hired. It depends on which roles you're specifically looking for.
Okay, yeah. So people would have to be flexible on that side, but you will be there to, of course, like advise them on
Exactly.
the most
Rather than
optimized.
flexible, I would say you got to be agile, right? You want to figure out what's trending at the moment and quickly upskill yourself and present yourself as like someone who can do what people are asking you to do.
Okay. At the moment as well, we are seeing such a big shift with AI. Um, do you have a tech stack to recommend for people who are both interested in AI and as well a Web3? Are they tools that are better to learn for people who are looking to get into blockchain, Web3, or digital assets?
Yeah, so when you are learning AI, again, AI plus Web3 engineering, great combination, and I do see a rise in that as well. Specifically, what you want to do is, again, knowledge of all these AI agents, how to deploy one, how to essentially, manage an AI agent. You need to know a lot about machine learning as well, on top of again how to integrate that and how to run that AI agent and deploy it to be on chain. That I would say is what you need. Essentially, you need the traditional tech stack you want to become a Web3 developer, either back end or front end. Again, I wouldn't say front end developers would have a chance. It wouldn't be a good combination if you're a front end developer trying to get into Web3 AI. It's more of a back end role, I would say. But again, there is front end integration as well. But again, that's something that I would like to talk about as well. Backend roles for Web3. That's something that people really overlook. Most people are so focused on like those big name roles like smart contract engineer, smart contract auditor, but they don't really focus on like the backend roles of Web3, like APIs for wallets and different protocols and blockchains as well. That's also a really good place to start in Web3 if you're already an existing backend developer. The transition from that to a Web3 backend developer in anything like integrating wallets and everything, really great place to start, I would say.
Okay, that's great. And let's take the case, for example, for someone technical who's looking to find his first job in Web3 today. What would be your advice?
Okay, someone technical, I would have to, it depends on what sort of experience they're bringing, right? So if you look at the term technical and non-technical, if you are a technical person, does that mean you have worked at some place, or are you a fresher, someone right out of college and you don't have any sort of experience, but you are very technically adept? If you're someone like that, the best piece of advice I can give you, and I'm pretty sure anyone can give you, and you probably heard this so many times, but it works, is to literally keep building. If you don't have experience working somewhere, but you're a technical person, keep building. Right. So something interesting that I can tell anyone is hiring is it has changed, right? It's not just skill based. If it was skill based, hiring would be such an easy thing.
Yeah.
Recruiters wouldn't need to go through all that trouble if it was hiring just based on the skills someone possesses. It's more towards how you use those skills. Because I was talking about this in like a different workshop that I was doing. If you take 100 different resumes of people applying for the same role, around 80 to 90% of those resumes will have the same set of skills, right? So that makes a recruiter's job even harder, because how do you find someone with like the best use case of those skills? That's the keyword, use case. It's important
Mm.
how you use those skills and you show the recruiters how exactly you've done that. That's essentially what makes you unique. So if you're a technical person who doesn't have experience, start building using the skills that you have and put yourself out there in any way you can. One of the best ways you can do that is joining communities, being active in those communities, contributing to open source projects. You can find a bunch of different protocols out there that have their own open source repositories going. Just try your best to contribute to those, network with the developers there, and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the skills, it's about how you use those skills that get you hired, especially if you're someone without any experience.
Okay. So either building own project or a side project, or joining, for example, as a volunteer, a project or an ecosystem and building some stuff there directly.
Exactly. I would recommend, again, if you can't find any open source projects or communities to join and actively contribute, then you want to try building your own projects, unless you can do both at the same time. And I do think anyone can do both at the same time, because you don't have to make huge contributions. You can just make any good contribution that you put thought and effort into while you have some personal projects going on. So again, those two things I would recommend anyone trying to get into any sort of technical field is show recruiters how you use those skills. That's what's going to get you hired.
Okay. You mentioned as well your team is advising on the resume and the CV part. Do you have any
Yes,
tips
not
to
just,
really
yeah.
highlight really how to put the use case or what the people did in Web3 specifically on a CV. Is there a specific way to build a CV when it comes to this industry?
I wouldn't say Web3 specifically. I would say software engineering specifically. What you want to do is make your resume impactful as much as possible, right? Because understand what the recruiters are looking for in a resume. They are just looking for enough data to make a decision on whether to call you for an interview or not. At this resume stage, they are not making a decision on whether to hire you or not. That happens well after the interview stage.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, what you need to understand is you need to give enough data to make yourself interesting enough for the recruiter to be like, okay, you know what, this person's good. I'm gonna call him for an interview. I want to see what this person is like. So when you are building a project, right, in your resume, you want to not just building a project, when you're building your resume, you want to understand that recruiters are trying to make a decision whether to call you for an interview or not.
Yeah.
They're not going to be in a stage where they want to make a decision on whether to hire you or not. That comes way later once you pass the interview stage. So understanding that, you need to make yourself interesting enough and tick all those boxes that the recruiter has in their mind, right? And one of the best ways you can do that is through keywords. So for example, if you're listing a project that you have done, you want to clearly highlight your tech stack. And those technologies and tools and languages you're using, those are the keywords that recruiters are looking for. It's not enough that you put it on your skills section. You want to show it in your experiences. You want to show it in your projects, because that's how you convey to the recruiter that you are familiar with these technologies. You've used these technologies, right? And one of the best things you can do, and one of the easiest things because of AI that you can do, is actually keyword optimize your resume to each individual job role. You can find multiple different tools out there that will do this for you instantaneously once you feed the job role. Again, those kind of little things is what makes a good resume, right? I don't think we'll have enough time to like properly go into that, but just remember, as a rule of thumb, you can use a method called the XYZ method, coined by Google, for your resume. If you have the time, just properly put all of your information using that method in your resume. That has a big impact, because rather than showing what you've done based on responsibility, it's much better to show what you've done based on achievement. Because at the same at if you think about it, right, achievement beats responsibility. Because at the end of the day, most companies are result oriented, right? If you put so much effort into something but you don't have any results to show for it, you might as well not have done that, right? So that's what I would say when you want to make a resume for any technical role, not just Web3. It applies for software engineers, full stack developers, backend developers, any role that's technical.
Great, perfect. As well, afterwards, we can put all the relevant link in the description if you guys have an article specifically on the CV
Oh,
side.
yes, we do. No, we do have some workshops up on our YouTube channel, as well as some of our articles. We'll definitely post them in the description. So anyone who's looking to get hired and make a resume, do check those out.
Perfect. And can you share as well what's coming for this year at Metana, even though we already have the year?
Oh, nice. Awesome. Good question. So I would happily tell you one of the biggest things that is coming out from Metana is our in-house LMS that we're building.
Oh,
So
great.
this LMS, I would say, again, this is for more all students. Our students are going to have a blast working with this LMS. The goal for us for building this LMS was giving students personalized support, right? So we have integrated AI and machine learning into this a lot to give each student give each student a very personalized experience. There's going to be a lot of things that you can do with this LMS. So right now, most of our sessions are pretty much live, and they happen one-to-one with our instructors, great instructors, by the way. So we thought, okay, now we've figured out the instructor part, we've figured out the classes and everything. Now it's time to figure out the LMS. The current LMS that we have is good, it works. but we can't give our students a personalized experience. We want to give our students a sandbox area where they can play around with everything that they're learning. For example, if you're learning to develop a smart contract or something, the moment you learn it, you can go to the LMS sandbox and literally start coding up something and just build it there and use the AI to get help. And we want to build like a community hub in it as well, and integrate all of our workshops into it as well. There's going to be a lot of things that are there. So I would say we're looking to launch it within the next 2 months or 1 month. Definitely, we are planning to launch it. I would say that's one of the biggest things our students can look out for. But for everyone else, we are happy to say that a Rust bootcamp is in development as well. Like I said, there's a
Great.
lot of demand for Rust.
Yeah.
So there is a good Rust bootcamp in the works as well. So those two things I would say are the biggest things that you should keep an eye out for coming from Metana.
Perfect. Yeah, I think a Rust bootcamp is a very good idea. Looking forward to it. I had last
Definitely.
questions when it comes to Web3 event. So they are all around the world, soon in Token 2049 in Singapore. For people who are looking for the first role, do you have any tips on how they should leverage this kind of event to maybe network or find potential opportunities?
Network, network, network. Quite literally, that's the biggest thing. You want to go to these events in an open mind and find out communities, right? Because you don't want to go to these events and just be like, hey, can you give me a job? Hey, can you give me a job? Or just network there, get to know the person, and then 1 week later, you're going to ask him, like, hey, can I have a job at your place? That's not what you want to do. And I'm afraid that's not something that works as well. It's something that is frowned upon, I would say, in the
Yeah.
recruitment community. Rather than that, what you want to do is figure out what communities are active around this event, right? So if you take token 2049, you don't necessarily need to go to that event per se. You can go to all these side events that are centered around this event and figure out what communities are active and just be part of those communities and network with those people and figure out how you can contribute to those communities or those projects, right? Then you want to continuously contribute to them, build up rapport there, build up connections there, and then you will find opportunities coming towards yourself rather than you having to look for them. The more you become active in these communities, the higher the chance of you being able to get hired in those same communities get offered to you. So that I would say is what you should look for in these events if you're trying to get hired in your first role, I would say.
Yes, I do agree on the side event. I think we are already reaching the end. Do you have any final tips for people looking to find a first role to make their first jump into this industry?
Yes, totally. The biggest thing I would say is don't be afraid to take the risk. Whenever opportunities open up to you, always be sure to grab them, take them, and make the best use out of them. And always, always, always never stop learning. Always keep learning and upskill yourself, but that's not enough to get you hired. It's important that you use what you learn and show recruiters how you use them so that you can essentially land your first role in Web3.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Ashan, for sharing your insight and breaking down the current state of Web3 talent space. It's
No
great
worries,
to get a real world view from someone working with both talent and companies. So, guys, to stay connected, do follow us on X at Unicast AI for future AMAs, podcast, and Web3 career content. As well, join our Telegram job board, t.me/unicastjobs to discover more roles. And of course, check out Metana if you are looking to build the skills that get you hired in Web3. We will share all the relevant links in the description. Ashan, do you have any final words before we wrap up?
No, I'm all good. It was really great talking to you, Benoit, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what happens.
Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you up in the next episode. Bye bye. Cheers.
See you guys. Cheers.